3, 2, 1.
Okay. So today, just based on some of the feedback I had from some of the instructors and even my own students, we're going to be talking about some basic PBS information that I think a lot of people are missing that you need to really use to keep your site up and running. So one of the things I want to talk about first is your website information. So when you, let me get to share my screen. That's probably one of the things I need to do. So when you get your invitation, everybody usually gets an email that looks similar to this that has your website information on it. You read it and you click on your links, and then the next thing you know, you lose it. You don't keep it, you don't store it anywhere. And then it's like, well, how do I get back to my site? What do I need to do? So one of the things you want to do, two things, is you want to star this information so that you can keep it at a later date. So I usually just hit add star, so it saves it in my email and I'd never lose it. Okay, little one. And then the next thing you want to do is I make a copy and put it in my Google Drive. Or I like using Google because it goes with me. It's very mobile and portable. So go to you, just copy it, and then you open up a Google Doc. And I have my docs right here. And you can do it one or two ways. I'm just going to show you how to open a folder. So I'm just going to come over here, do new, do a folder. And I'm going to name it RRR247 PBS info. Okay, and it's going to create that folder. And once that folder is created, then I can go and find it again. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to open up a Google Doc. Create that doc. And I'm going to say PBS information. I know it. And then from here, I'm just going to copy my website information. Oh, I copied my dot. So copy this back here and paste. There we go. So now I have all of my information right here. I won't lose it. I won't have to go back to my instructor and say, what was my site again? I can't find my site. I can't get into it. So now it's there for me to have. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to click on the admin portion and make sure you copy your password. Don't try to type it in, just copy it and put it in there. And then you know what your name is. And then you're going to put that information in there. And once you get your website pulled up, it's going to look like this. You're going to be in your dashboard. The minute you get to your dashboard, you want to bookmark it. And you should be in Google Chrome. And if you are, then you're going to hit this dot. Yours should be grayed out. Once you hit that dot right there, it's going to pull up this bar. And it's going to ask you where you want to do with it. Most of you just put it in your bookmark bar, which is fine. You want to make sure your site stays in your bookmark bar. Okay? And then from there, you want to leave it so you can always have access to it, and you just click done. And then your website will look like this on your dashboard, so you never lose it. It's always there for you to get access to. Sometimes it'll time you out, but if you click save when you put your information, you're going to get a box that pops up over here for your Google information to save it. If you're using RoboForm, which is one of our programs, you just save it in there, and then you won't have to worry about finding that password again. So that's how you can save your site. The other thing that you'll notice in there is you have some training information. You have your RRR247 training site. So you want to do that as soon as you pull it up. His mommy's on his way. As soon as you pull that up, you want to do the same thing with that. You want to bookmark it. And this is where I create a folder. So when I bookmark it, it's going to have, I'm going to put rrr247.com training. Okay. And it's already got a training folder, but I'm going to act like we don't have one. So I'm going to come down here to more, and I'm going to click create a new folder. And usually because I already have all this here, it's going to fall right up underneath your bookmark bar. And then you just label it your training, rrr247, whatever the site is, .com. And then RRR. So you know exactly what it is, /.com. So then you have that folder right there so you can have it in training. And then you just save it. So it's always there for you. And then when you come down and you read your information, you'll have that. And then you're going to go back to your website or your email, and you're going to have your instructor's going to tell you to get in touch with them on Skype. And then they're going to send you another email that's going to tell you to go to episode 8. It's going to be in your homework. And as soon as you pull up episode 8, you want to do the same thing. You want to bookmark it. And it's asking me what folder do I want to put it under. And so it's going to pull up the last folder that you were last in. So since I am in the RRR247 folder, I want to leave it there. So I'm just going to click done, and it's going to put it in that folder. So now I don't have to worry about going through and looking for episode 8. And then what I'm going to do is just come on down, read my information, do my homeworks, and then I'm going to go to first. And here's my first. It's going to have our core values. So again, once you read through our core values, these are very important. Go through all the different things. And you want to do the same thing with this. You're going to bookmark it. And you're going to put it back in your folder. This is our RRR247 folder. If you don't see your folder, you just hit your scroll down. If you don't see it in here, you go to choose another folder. And it'll pull up all of your folders that you have. And then you choose the one that you want and click save, and it puts it in there. And then you're going to go back, continue reading your homework, go to second, and there's your training. You don't have to save this. You just want to fill it out. So you'll be registered for all of Rory's emails. And then you're going to go to your third. And in your third, here's Rory's email. Again, this is just information you can go to, read about Rory, read about his information, see all the things that he's accomplished, and join his Facebook. So you know where to go and join. Okay. So then the next thing you want to do is you're going to come down here and it says do this first. So this is all part of your homework. You're going to do this first. And this is your help guide. And you want to read your information. And this is something else you can bookmark so that you can come to it and reference back to it later. And just hit done and bookmark it under your PBS. And it has your videos, how to set up different things, your walkthrough. So this is your homework help. And then from there, you're going to go to do this second. And this is going to be your episode 9. And this actually has the password. So you want to make sure you have your password. And you put your password in here. And you hit enter. Okay, once it pulls up with the password in it, you hit your bookmark. And you're going to do the same thing. I already have this bookmarked under RR Info, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to find it. So there's the last folder I was in, and I want to bookmark it there and hit done. So now all of my episodes and training are done. I'm going to finish reading my information, and then I can go through and read all the different stuff that I need to do. And then once I want to set up with memes, I can click on that. And if I'm not quite ready to do it yet, I can still bookmark this. And it says memes and sayings, and that's what it's going to save at under RRR247. So I'm just going to hit done. So now that all of my important information is saved, now I'm going to go and do what my homework said, which is modify your wine page. With your instructor, if you haven't gotten into wine, then you would probably start with your Bella Vita's page. So I'm actually going to start with Bella Vita. So you're going to go to your dashboard and you're going to go to your visit site. And more than likely, you're as a new student, you're going to have your Velavita information. It's probably going to be under health, fitness. So these, the category pages that you get with your site, you want to make sure you keep those because those are Google standard approved categories. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't add to them, but you want to make sure you keep the ones that are there. Don't rename them, modify the information that's in it, but keep the ones that's there and you can just add to them. So I actually have biohacking as a category because there's just so much stuff in there. And then once you get in there and you're going to do the same thing with your fine wines page, you're going to modify that page. And that means read the page that's there, the information that's there. And I always read it before I put it in edit mode. You're going to read the information that's there and see exactly what your page is talking about. That makes it easier for you to go back and actually put it in your own words. And then you go and hit your edit mode and your edit page. And you start modifying paragraph by paragraph. By you have read it first, by you reading it first, then you know what it says. So you're more apt to be able to say, well, maybe paragraph 1 and 2 would sound better by combining them into one paragraph. Or maybe paragraph 3 and 7 say basically the same thing. So you can basically have just one paragraph instead of 2. It also might jog your memory on maybe some personal experiences or even some research that you've done that you can incorporate at the optimal time because you know what the page is about. Then what you're going to do is after you finished your content, that's when you want to go back and put links in, okay? And a lot of you are like, well, where do I get my links? So when you're in Velavita, you're going to pull up your Velavita dashboard. Okay, so once your dashboard comes up, it's going to look something like this. To get your links for your Velavita, you're going to come over to your profile. You're going to hit the drop down, click on your profile. And down at the bottom, you're going to see where in the middle of the page, on the left-hand side, you're going to see this where it says replicated site. Okay, you're going to click on that information. And down at the bottom, you have 3 referral links. And it tells you what it is. One's for your store, one's for products, and one's to register as a Velavita ambassador, okay, or Velavita representative. So it depending on how you're modifying your page. If you're sending it to business, if you just want them to look at your products, you can do both depending on how you're talking. Those are your links that you're using. So then after you finish modifying your page, you're going to come back and you're going to grab this link. So I'm going to grab the product link and you can just hit your clipboard to copy and come back to your page. And then from your page, you can go to different places. So I know right here, I'm talking about the product. So I'm just going to come through here and just add a couple of links. And depending on where you want to add them, you want to make sure that it's going to optimize what you're talking about. So I know here I'm talking about the brain. So I'm going to do size of the brain. And I like to do phrases instead of words, just one word, but it's totally up to you. You want to develop your own unique way of creating your page. And then you're going to paste your link in. And then you want to make sure you click this tab that opens in a new tab. If you don't, then what happens is whenever they click your link to go get your product, their product, it will open up on the page that they're currently in, which means they're going to open up over your website. So they will lose your website. So you always want to make sure that you're opening in a new tab so that once they go and order, they can come back to your site and continue shopping from your other category menu. And then you're just going to click submit and that saves your link. So I'm going to come here and remove some pictures so you can see how to add images. And you're just going to go through and do that throughout your page. And like I said, just different places. So I got quite a few of them in here. So conclusion biohacking. So this is a video that is actually on the Velavita site. And you can put videos in there, but that's going to be something we'll talk about later. So right now, we're just going to do the basics as far as making sure your site's modified paragraph by paragraph. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're combining paragraphs, you see how these pluses keep showing up? That allows you to add a block. And so when you click on that plus, you have your different blocks. These are some of the ones that show up. But if you browse all, it has category menus just like the rest of us situations do. So you have the different blocks for the different things that you use the most. You have your media, which is where you get your images, your audio, different things like that, your text and media. You actually have designs if you want to put a button in there. See, it even shows you how the buttons look, how you can do it if you want to do columns. So it shows you how you can do that. So if you want to do groups, it shows you. So if you look over here to the right in the middle of the page, it actually shows you what the different things are. So you just scroll down and find the one that you're looking for if it's not in your most recent. Same thing with patterns. It's mostly all we have is you can go in and put different things in. If you have a reusable block, say you have a statement or a paragraph that you like to use and just modify it frequently, then you can just use reusable and decide which block you want to use. So that's different things in there. You can see this is old because I actually have DC in there. I need to get rid of that. So that's how you're going to do it. Most of us, you're going to be using paragraphs or headings. Classic, we don't really need because right now with all the new updates that most of the stuff that we did in the classic block, we can now do in basic paragraphs. That has several different things that you can do. Media is where you're going to be adding your images. So since we took that image out, I want to add another image. So I'm going to come here, hit my block. Okay, come on. Hit my plus, and I'm going to click add an image. Now, once you get to this block here, you're going to see it has 3 options. So you can do an upload, which means if you have a picture that you got from the internet that you stored in a file, then that's where you can go and tell it you want to get that image from. If you want to see what's in your libraries, and that's what I always suggest, if it's a picture you've used before, it's in your library. You don't need to upload it again, because if you do, the way the computer is, it will assign it a code. Even though it's the same picture you've probably used a couple times, every time you upload it to your site, it gets assigned a code for that particular page. So I've seen some people go in and they're like, oh, I got too many images, or I got like 5 pictures of the same image, and they go and delete those images out of their media library. Well, sad to say, wherever you use that image, that picture gets deleted. Even though it's the same picture, it's been assigned to a particular space and page in your system. So it has a code. So when you delete that image, it deletes it off that page. So you want to be very cautious of uploading the same image several times and using it in different places and then going in and cleaning up your media file, because every time you delete it, it deletes it off that page. So just fair warning, I've learned that the hard way. So that's one of the things you want to be aware of. Also, you can do URLs. I don't suggest it because it's sometimes when you do a URL, it will link also to wherever that came from. So you want to make sure that you're always just using code so you can protect yourself from that. Okay. So then I'm just going to come here and upload because I have a new image I want to put in here. So I'm going to click upload. And I have all of my images saved in my Dropbox. And I'm just going to go to my QR codes and for Bella Vita, and I'm going to put this in here. And then, as you can see, this is a fairly large image. I don't really want it to take up my whole page. So you have these little dots here that you can actually size your image. And then I really don't want all that space. So you have this information right here, which is your alignment center. So you can align your picture however you want to. You can align it to the left and put it to the side of the paragraph. You can align it to the right and put it on the right side of the paragraph. You can even make it smaller if your words start to jumble up and mix. So that looks pretty decent. So they can see that. and it looks really good. It's not taking up my page. Now, the one thing you want to do is with Google searches, they search by images too. So whenever you have an image or a picture on your site, you want to make sure that site's linked in two different ways. You want to make sure that that site's linked not only with your key phrase, which is your alternative text, which in this one I think is biohacking. Okay. And then if you scroll down, you're also going to see, well, right here is your link. And most people pull up media file. You just want to click on your X and it opens up your paste your URL link here. And you're just going to paste the link to your site or your affiliate that you're going to. You want to click your drop down and make sure it opens in a new tab. And then you're going to submit. And a lot of people are saying, well, why do I need to link my picture? Because there's two reasons. Your key phrase helps your picture get searched for Google. It indexes with your images. But also with your link, if people double clicks your picture, it brings them right back to your page that the image came from. So if you don't have it linked, they can't come back to your site. And then once they're here, then they can actually go and see your information. So you always want to make sure you don't leave anything on your site to chance. Everything should be linked either internally or externally to your website or to your affiliate. So once you get through that, again, like I said, you just want to make sure that you have your links. Put them in there. You can choose words. The one thing you do not want to do is when there's been a lot of confusion, and like I said, I've done a lot of searching, and I want these images to be a little bit smaller. And sometimes when you pick a key phrase, you'll get this lovely little saying that says you've linked something to another phrase or another site. And we've always thought before that we were linking to the affiliate that we're using. According to my research, that's not the case. That means you're using your own key phrase and you're linking it to your affiliate. So like biohacking, I have the word biohacking that I want my page to rank for. So I do not want to link biohacking to Velavita site because then I'm giving Velavita my tracking information or my tracking traffic. So don't ever link your key phrase and have it linked to go to your affiliate, or you will get that lovely little message down at the bottom that says you're linking to another site. Okay. So if you have that and you went through and checked everything and you're like, well, I don't have that site anywhere. You know, I don't have that word I'm using. Go back through your page and see if you're linking your key phrase, part or whole, to an external or internal link. That's why you're getting that message. Let's see. And then part of your Google information is you get this Yoast SEO traffic report. That's what I call it, is my traffic report. It tells me how well my page will possibly do on Google. So Google tells me it's basically your cheat sheet. It says if you don't have all this information, you're probably not going to rank well or at all. So you want to go through and look at that. You click on your SEO and you come down here and you click on the open your box. And it tells you all your information. It will tell you, make sure you need at least one outbound link. You need at least one internal link. And you need your key phrase in your introduction. Sometimes you're going to get a red on this if your key phrase doesn't quite fit the introduction, but you at least want it in the first sentence. Sometimes it don't work if you have a key phrase that just really doesn't work as the lead-off sentence, but you need to make sure that you can use it in the first sentence. If you have one or two oranges and everything else is green and green, you want your overall image to be green. You don't have to have everything green, but sometimes it just works out that way. But as long as your overall is green and green, you'll be fine. That's what they're looking at. Same thing with your readability. So if you click on your readability, the one thing I always look at is the flash score. This is how well and how easy it is for your page to be read. Google always says, write your pages at about a 5th grade reading level. not trying to be ugly to anybody, but that's basically what we want. We want short, concise sentences, get to the point fast. I don't want a lot to read. I want short paragraphs. I want a few pictures here and there to keep my interest. And that's what Google sees just based on the information and the traffic that comes through all Google information that we have. And then you always want to run into active and passive voice. That's where transition words is the two things that hold people up. I always say if you write enough and speak your heart and speak the way you do, sometimes you can get over that. However, if you don't, and as long as it's in the orange and you have overall green and green, you will be fine. Don't harp on it too much. The one thing that's really forgiving about our site is that it's always a work in progress. It's never going to be finished. If you say your site's finished, then you're done. Your site will never be finished because there's always new trends. There's always new markets. Rory is always finding new stuff for us to market and to help build our sites and build our systems. So your site is never going to be complete. It can be finished in its current stage, but it will never be complete. So you will always have room to grow. So just make sure that whenever you're getting your sites and your website, same thing with that you have them bookmarked, you have them easily accessible for you so that you can get to them. You notice I have everything bookmarked here. So when I have an affiliate, I make sure that it's bookmarked. Just like I created the folders for the training, I create folders for everything I'm going to be using. You should too. That way everything is at your fingertips. You're not calling your instructor saying, what's the class training for today? What time is it? You want to make sure that you have your Zoom trainings bookmarked and have a folder for Zoom trainings. And then you can have them bookmark your webinars, which is our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday classes. Right here's our webinars. And then we have our calls, which is our amazing calls that we're doing Monday through Friday from 11 to 7 p.m. Eastern. You know, for training, for those of you that are ready to be instructors, ready to get on those calls and start growing your business. So you need those. I have my Saturday classes training posted on there. I even have the Velveeta Live training that we do on Mondays. I have the Saturday classes done. I have Rory's training that we have for our MSIs. So I have everything right here at my fingertips. Same thing with my marketing sites. All of my affiliates are right here. All my additional affiliates are right here that I use all the time. So I have everything right here at my fingertips. If I wanted to, I can actually go in and put folders for different ones. I'm just not going to do it. When I do my research and find pages that I want to keep, to go back to, I actually have a folder for information pages. So that's one of the things that I do. For my internet phone calls that I use for my V-marketing, and my calls to my one-on-one boards, I have those right there where I can get to them. So I'm not hunting for them. New clothing affiliates I've been looking for, I save those when I can go through and look at them and see, or people that's called and offered me affiliate programs, I put them in there so I can go and look and research them to see if maybe it's something I want to market. So you have a way to stay on top of everything. And then my ad site. So these are some of the places that I advertise. I have paid advertising and free advertising all right here. I have my social media broken down so I know where I can go to do my social media. And that's why I use Google, because social media is mobile. You know, it's on your phone. If you're on your phone, you have your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest. You know, all of that's right there. Your Tumblr is one of the programs I'm in. Everything's right there on your Facebook. On your phone. So take it with you and make sure, you know, if you got your Google Docs or your Google Drive on your phone, you can take your advertising with you. And then my website enhancements, those are things that I use to actually enhance my website, like my Canva, my Google AdSense, my Jaxie, my Response Magic, things that I use to keep, you know, tiny URL, the broken link checker, and my plagiarism checker, things that I have for my Google ads that I'm running, analytics and things like that. So everything's right here. And then I have all of my personal stuff here. I have my business banking information. So even my personal, you know, you don't want to just have your business organized. You need your personal stuff organized. It's one thing to have all your bills paid for your business and then let your personal go by the wayside. So you need to have a balance between your personal and your business. So everything should basically be organized. Even in my Google Docs, I have those organized. So when I come and do my templates, it's organized by wine, travel, whatever my categories are that I'm marketing. I have a category for that too. So then all I have to do is just pull it up and there it is. If I want to do clothing and fashion, there's my clothing and fashion. It has my links that I have for clothes. And then I have my ads that's there that I want to use. So everything's mobile. It's right there accessible to me. So I'm not losing anything. So as far as getting your sites set up and making sure you have your basics, that's the best way I can say to do it, is to have everything bookmarked so it's easily accessible, so that when you do start modifying your pages, if you come into a glitch, I always say before you get to your instructor, go back to your training, go back to your videos. If you have them bookmarked, it makes it easier to find instead of asking your instructor, where's my training? Try to go look for it and then go back to your instructor because you couldn't find your training. So have your training bookmarked. The training basically is, you know, can teach yourself through it. But if not, you can watch the training and make notes so that when you do have that one-on-one with your instructor, you know the questions to ask to get you back going. Don't just be randomly spouting off questions and then you're spinning your wheels because you can't remember why you were asking the question. So make sure that whatever you're having issues with, that you mark the page and then you write your questions that's pertaining to that page you're working on. Then when you get with your instructor, then they know exactly what they need to help you with and get you going. So that's all I have for today. It's just basic information on how to keep you organized, how to keep you structured, so that when you start working on your site, everything is right there at your fingertips. So I hope that helped.